Hi guys, John here from Optics Warehouse. So as promised, we've got the Immersive Optics range with us. We're down at the local Field and Hunterfield Target Club, which is Ashcombe Air Gun Club. We're going to be putting it through its paces and giving it a go just to see how it brackets, what the depth of clarity is like, so how close you can see, how far you can see. Set on roughly 25 mag, normally works with most scopes for the HFT market as far as I've found. Yeah, we're going to get into it and see how it performs in real world situation. So guys, putting some shots through this. I had about a half hour down here with it so far, and obviously, as you can see here, one really nice feature that I've learned to come to love actually is the fact that you can pop these scope covers onto the turret like that, and onto the turret just like that, and it keeps them nice and neat and out of the way, which is lovely. Stops it flapping about and getting in the way or coming over your view. In particular, I've got the 10 to 40 on at the moment. My favourite one so far has actually been the 10 to 30. I think the depth of field in it is much better. The only problem I found with putting it on the raw is the fact that I've got to have it mounted that bit too far forward. The edge of the mount here just gets in the way for the Picatinny rail section on here. You can get around that by putting a slight riser on there and bringing it back towards you, but it's only a little gripe so far. Adjustments on here, 0.1 milrad adjustments, which if I'm honest are a little bit coarse. However, I've managed to get it absolutely bang on with the aid of the adjustable mount here. So I found a point actually quite near the centre that allows it to be perfectly zeroed without that 0.1 click being too much either way. So aim points on there with the reticle. I've found so far that with my 0 point at 25 yards, it's quite nice to have it then. Everything on that is below the crosshair. So I've just got that 1 point, and I know that I've only ever got to aim one way for it. I haven't got to remember to give hold over or hold under. It's just hold over all the time. Clarity with this, as I say, I'm going to put some shots for it while I'm talking to you, so it's down here. But clarity, as I say, really nice and crystal clear at 25. That field of view is awesome on this. The amount that they take in, you can see all the wind and movings on around you. So like for example, I'm just looking at a target here. It's 38 yards roughly from bracketing it on the crosshair. I'm more of a field target shooter, so my HFT is a bit rusty. We're looking about 38 yards, and honestly, the amount I can see from around it and the depth of field for close and far, I just pick up there is a slight little breeze there, and it just makes it that bit easier just to pick your shot placement, just like that. And it makes it so much easier for picking up that wind with that little slight change, especially if you're in a wispy wind where you've got a bit of right to left and all of a sudden it changes. You can see enough to pick that up quickly. So it's going to save you some points every now and again, I'd say, just for that feature alone. As I say, I do prefer the 30mm objective just because it gives you that depth, great depth of field. Down to, for my eyes, down to about 12 yards, I can see pretty clear. And it does heavily blur off after that, or sorry, closer than that. And then looking out on this from that parallax setting, I mean, even on the 40mm one, looking through, I mean, it's just slightly blurring off as I'm pushing past the 40 to 45 there. So it does give you a real nice clarity all the way through. You can use the blur to range find that 45 just to make sure that you are within the distances on that. And as I say, it just seems to be a really nice, pleasant scope to use. The illumination on it, it's, for me, because it's a push button one, I'm not too keen on that. I'd rather just have it on a setting that I can switch to, going around from, say, if I want to keep it on 8, I know I can put it on 8 and turn it off in between. But it's just press button 1 and you go through the settings that way. It's not the end of the world, it's just, for me personally, it's something I'm not overly keen on. But it does stop you from messing around with it or thinking you're on the wrong setting and having to adjust it after that. But as I say, the actual clarity of this is pretty impressive, to be honest. The weight of it, the balance, it's made when you're holding the rifle, whether you're standing, kneeling or sitting or prone, it just keeps all the weight back. So as you can see, I mean, I'm holding it just in the middle. I can lift the gun up about 1.5 inches in front of the trigger guard, and it just brings the weight back nicely. So you're not having to hold it too far up at the front. It just rests there nicely, get your shoulder into it, and you can keep it there all day. It's just such a lovely piece of kit to use and helps bring that balance point back, which obviously if you're a competitive shooter, the balance point does make it a huge difference on your positionals and how you're able to hold it steady for a longer period of time. So as I say, that gives you a quick roundup on that of actually usability. The bracketed system on there, you've got two different reticles. You've got, or two different reticles that will work well for the HFT. You've got your mill dot and your enhanced mill dot. So the mill dot one is, obviously, as you're aware, it's got your standard lines there. They've got your half line every fourth line, or fourth dot. If I'm honest, you're never really going to be down that far, but you can use it as a good base to measure from. Personally, though, I would say your better option would be the enhanced mill dot, due to the Christmas tree style shape underneath. It just gives you much more aim points to use, allows you to aim off in the wind with that bit more confidence that you're not canting the rifle or just floating about in the ether trying to get where you need to be. So yeah, definitely enhanced mill dot would be my reticle of choice. And as I say, from being down here and using them, I am really impressed with it, and it's just going to bring another sort of opening to the market of HFT, I think. And also for any pest control use you've got. Obviously it's recoilless only, so it's only on your PCPs, but as a ratting scope, close range ratting in the barn work, it really does have, it's a game changer with that wide field of view. You can track them as they move along, and as you know, rats are quite skittish. If you do a bit of ratting, they disappear from one side to the other and quite quickly. But because of the field of view, you can just follow them, and you're never really going to lose them too much. So yeah, obviously really impressed with this. Really nice bit of kit. So you can see here, looking through the scope, we've got one of the Wolf night vision add-ons on the back of it, just to show it is night vision compatible. But with this, it's just also to show you an example of the standard mill dot reticle on that 10-40 while we're at the range. Varying distances of targets and kill zone sizes, but it does give you a representation of what they look like at the distances shot with that reticle. Obviously these ones now, the yellow targets, are a little bit further away than what you'd have on your standard HFT course. In Swefter we have them a bit further, and we're just trying to push it just to see what it would be like clarity wise, and also using the aim points for pushing that distance. So guys, I hope that's been informative for you, and you've learnt a little bit about the Immersive and how it performs, as I say, in a real world environment on a HFT course. If you've got any more questions or information, or you think we've missed something that you'd like us to add, please get hold of us, drop us an email or give us a comment down below, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks for watching.